We are the only nation in the world that drinks iced Americano even in the middle of winter. Foreigners are shocked just by this, but we even handle leftover ice easily in winter. If this is the case in winter, there's no need to mention summer. Whether it's water, beer, or soft drinks, they must always be prepared ice cold. However, drinking cold beverages is not a universal habit globally. Chinese people drink warm water even in the peak of summer, not just for babies. Similarly, most Asian countries, including India, follow this practice. Why don't they drink cold water, even in hotter climates than ours? In China, even today, if you order beer at a local restaurant, it's often served warm. In slightly upscale restaurants, they might ask if you want it cold. But if you don't understand Chinese and just sit there, you'll most likely get lukewarm beer. Even in supermarkets, bottled water is stored at room temperature, right next to the refrigerator. In small-town shops, you might even get a warm cola that has been left in the sun. Of course, it's not that Chinese people do this on purpose. They have a strong aversion to cold drinks, so they assume foreigners would feel the same. The Chinese belief is that the stomach must be warm and that cold things entering it cause illness. There is even a record from the Ming dynasty of an official who drank cold water every morning to die early. Traditional Chinese medicine considers cold water the root of all illnesses. Cold water is believed to harm the stomach's energy, causing digestive issues. It lowers the internal temperature, making one more susceptible to colds, constipation, and muscle cramps. In contrast, warm water is thought to aid blood circulation, digestion, detoxification, and prevention of aging. Therefore, in China, people are encouraged to drink more hot water when they feel unwell. According to traditional Chinese medicine, drinking warm water started during the Han Dynasty around the 2nd century BC. The ruling class drank tea made with hot water, but common people couldn't afford it. They used dry grass and straw for cooking, but couldn't afford to boil water. Boiled water was saved for pregnant women, the elderly, and the sick. Despite knowing the health benefits of warm water, common people drank river water due to the high cost of boiling water. However, river water was often contaminated with sediment and pollution, leading to frequent outbreaks of diseases. A turning point came in the late 19th century when China was embroiled in wars like the Taiping Rebellion. In 1934, the nationalist government launched a new life movement to promote hygiene practices, including drinking boiled water. The movement emphasized boiling water to kill bacteria and prevent disease. However, the movement didn't gain much traction due to ongoing wars and governmental inefficiency. It was Mao Zedong who completed the nationwide campaign to drink hot water. Both Chiang Kai-shek and Mao Zedong agreed on the necessity of drinking boiled water. The Communist Party had already been providing boiled water to soldiers before the New Life movement. Commanders who failed to provide hot water were reprimanded, and soldiers who drank cold water were punished. In 1952, the Communist government launched a patriotic health campaign, plastering posters in schools urging children to drink boiled water 3 times a day. Children were given thermoses, creating a scene where they lined up to fill them with hot water at school. The habit of drinking hot water spread from schools to government offices, public places, and eventually private companies. People across China carried thermoses, lining up at water stations to fill them with hot water. This led to the widespread habit of drinking hot water instead of cold. There's even a saying that the British invented the thermos, Germans commercialized it, and the Chinese perfected it. India also has a strong belief that cold water is unhealthy, rooted in traditional Ayurveda teachings. Ayurveda teaches that drinking cold water disrupts the body's balance by making it work harder to raise its temperature. Warm water aids digestion and detoxification, especially in the hotter southern regions. Countries influenced by Indian traditions like Sri Lanka and Nepal follow similar practices. In the Arab world, there's a similar concept of fighting heat with heat by drinking hot tea to cool down the body. Many other Asian countries like Vietnam, Malaysia, Thailand, Myanmar, and the Maldives avoid cold water. Asian workers in Korea often struggle with drinking cold water all day, leading to stomach aches and diarrhea. There's much debate over whether cold or hot water is healthier. Proponents of cold water argue that hot water weakens the immune system and is actually harmful. They claim that cold water improves endurance and reduces stress. Ultimately, the preference for cold or hot water is a product of environmental factors. Countries that boil water often have poor water quality, making it a survival necessity. Countries that prefer cold water generally have good water quality. In Korea, Japan, the UK, Nordic countries, New Zealand, and Canada, drinking unboiled water is safe. These countries don't need to worry about water quality and can enjoy cold beverages. While Europe and the US have some regional differences, they have largely overcome water quality issues with tap water systems. The first water purification system was developed in the UK in the early 19th century. This allowed people to drink uncontaminated water without boiling it. Countries like China and India lacked the technology and economic resources to develop such systems. So they chose to boil water to sterilize it, preventing many diseases. As times change, preferences for cold and hot water are also shifting. In the West, more people are drinking room temperature water as soda consumption declines. Conversely, young people in Vietnam and Thailand are now drinking beer with ice. Since the 1990s, cold drinks have become popular in China with the influx of Western lifestyle. Young people in Shanghai and Beijing drink ice-cold water and beer without hesitation. As a result, China has surpassed the US to become the largest bottled water market in the world. The image of middle-aged Chinese people carrying thermoses is becoming a symbol of the past.